Hey Boathouse. Today we're going to focus on a new topic. It's called Best Unit of Measurement. And our goal today is I can choose the proper unit of measurement when measuring in metric units. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, look at the examples below. Would I measure your height in feet or miles? So if I was going to measure you head to toe, would that be measured in feet or miles? Hopefully, you're thinking feet because a mile is way too large of a unit to measure you in. Okay, so typically we measure you in feet like you're 4 feet 10 inches tall, or you're 5 feet 3 inches tall. Another example, would I measure your weight in ounces or pounds? Hopefully you're thinking pounds, because an ounce is way too small of a unit to be measuring you in. Matter of fact, when they weigh babies, they weigh them in pounds also, and babies can come out, in 6, 7, 8, 9 pounds in so many ounces. So the pound is the correct unit to measure it. Now the difference here is these are English units, and our focus is on metric units. But this is going to be what we're going to be doing today is I will give you scenarios and you figure out what is the correct unit to use in that situation. Okay, so we're going to focus on the base unit of meters. And meters are used when we're trying to find the length of an object or the width of an object or the height of it or even the distance between two places. Now the options we get to use are centimeters, meters, or kilometers. So when do I use which one? Well, centimeters tend to be used for smaller objects because a centimeter is essentially the width of your pinky finger. Or another way of remembering it is 1 inch is 2.5 centimeters. So it takes 2.5 centimeters to equal an inch. So again, it's a pretty small measurement. If we jump up to meters, meters is the approximate width of a door. So think of the door to your house. That is about a meter. 1 meter is about 3 feet. It's actually a touch more. It's 39 inches. And lastly, a kilometer. A kilometer is used when we're using big measurements. For example, a kilometer is about 3/4 of a mile. So when I'm trying to figure out which unit of measurement to use, I think about if it's small, like the width of your pinky, that's a centimeter. If it's kind of medium size, like the width of a door, that's a meter. And if it's a little bit less than a mile, I think of a kilometer. Keep these in mind as we move into the next slide. All right, so as we look at this page, I have 9 examples. And you're trying to figure out what is the proper or correct unit to use. You can use a centimeter, which again is about the width of your pinky. You can use a meter, which is about the width of a door, or a kilometer, which is the distance, it's about 3/4 of a mile. Okay, so in your head mentally, you're not writing any of this down, but in your head mentally, think about this before I go over the answer. So we'll start with the length of a pencil, and we'll just kind of go left to right through these rows. So length of a pencil, would you measure that in centimeters, meters, or kilometers? Hopefully you're thinking centimeters, okay? Because the width of your, or the length of your pencil, how long it is, it's going to be several centimeters. A meter or kilometer are way too big of units to be using in these scenarios as a meter is, about 3 feet. Next one, distance of a football field. This is a tough one. Think about that for a minute. The distance of a football field. In other words, how long it is from one end zone to another. Correct. Should be meters. Okay. Centimeters are way too small, as we're talking. Like I said, the centimeter is the width of your pinky. You'll be measuring forever in that, and the numbers will get gigantic. Kilometer is too big because a kilometer is about 3/4 of a mile. Okay. And that's not anywhere close to a kilometer or even half of a kilometer. Matter of fact, a football field is 100 yards. A lot of you, some of you that play football know that football field's 100 yards. Well, a yard is slightly smaller than a meter. A yard is 36 inches, a meter is 39 inches. So if they're measuring that in yards, then we would want to use meters. Next one, height of a piece of paper. In other words, how tall is a piece of paper? Should be centimeters. It's going to be many centimeters long. Next row, width of a math book. So how wide is it from side to side? Centimeters, meters, kilometers. Answer? Should be centimeters. It's going to be several centimeters wide. Length of a penny. So if I measured from one side of the penny across the penny to the other side, would I measure that in centimeters, meters, kilometers? Should be centimeters, as it's, probably right around a centimeter in length or something like that. Width of a doorway. If we were to measure the width of your bedroom door there, kitchen door, door to your front house. Meters. Remember we talked about that's one of the ways we remember how big a meter is. All right, distance from the classroom to your the lunchroom. So if you picture yourself at RMS again, sitting in the boathouse area, and we were to measure from my science classroom all the way into the lunchroom, we would measure that in meters. It would be several meters. Centimeters you could use centimeters, but it's way too small of a unit for that type of distance, and then we're not anywhere near a kilometer there. Length of a paper clip. So if you measure from one end of the paper clip to another, that would be measured in centimeters. Small object, small unit. Last one, distance from elbow to wrist. So if we were to measure from your elbow to your wrist, we would measure that in centimeters. It's several centimeters. Okay, now we're going to move on to a different set of metric units. So next we'll work on weight or mass, and in a metric system, we typically find the mass of an object, how many grams it is, or how many kilograms it is, and those will be your two options as grams or kilograms. So some reminders. Remember, a gram is the weight of a raisin or a paperclip. So if you're going to weigh out a paperclip or a raisin, they're both right around a gram. A kilogram is meant for heavier objects. That is equal to about 2.2 pounds. So if something is smaller and lighter, we tend to measure it in grams or several grams. If something is bigger and heavier, we tend to measure in kilograms. Keep those reminders in mind as we look at some examples of this. All right, in this chart, we are going to figure out what unit to use. Should it be measured in grams or kilograms? Again, you're not writing anything down, you're just mentally thinking about the answer before I give it to you. So if we were going to measure a dog in grams or kilograms, what would we use? Okay, it should be kilograms, as it would be a lot of, a dog, no matter how big it is going to be many kilograms. A pencil, we measure that in grams or kilograms. That should be measured out in grams, as it's going to be, I guess it depends on the pencil, but anywhere 4, 5, 6, 7 grams, somewhere in that ballpark. Next one, bowling ball. That should be measured out in kilograms, as it's going to be many kilograms. You go to the bowling alley, and it's like a lighter bowling ball would be like a 6 or 7 pound bowling ball, which would be 12, 13, 14, 15 kilograms. Heavier bowling ball being about 14, 15, 16 pounds, which would be anywhere from probably 25 to 30 kilograms. Next row, piece of paper. Grams, very lightweight object. A car, grams or kilograms? Kilograms. A tree, grams or kilograms? Kilograms. Next row, a pair of scissors. Should be grams. candy, like a Jolly Rancher. Grams. And last one, a Post-it note. Grams. You see those three objects across the bottom row there are all smaller objects and very light in weight. Now, keeping this in mind, you are going to move into the best units of measurement assignment, which you'll find in Schoology, and you're going to be doing the same type of thing where you have to decide on would you use grams or kilograms or centimeters, meters, kilometers. If you can't remember which is which, remember to re-watch this video, and you can maybe fast forward it over certain parts, skip certain parts of it, and just slow it down and play the parts that you need to re-see.